So let's see what are compensation plans. So in compensation plans, we can have hourly and salary plans. We had a look at that. New fields are taken into consideration when setting this up, like apply a full-time employee per se, either include or exclude from merit, and the task is edit salary plan. So let's have a look at our compensation plans. So these are the salary plans on this tenant. And let's have a look at our let's call this our say salary plan. We give a plan description. Eligibility rules, of course, we discussed that. Let's have a look at these rules that are defined for this salary plan. Job family and family group in compensation. And these are all the job family groups available for general salary package. Consulting operations, legal marketing, IT, HR, FC, FA, and CS management. Second condition eligibility rule. Job profile is salary, yes. Location or employee type, France apprentice, no. Location is security guard, collective agreement is no. It's not applicable to these two types of employees. And if job profile is salary, then these people may have this plan. So job family and job family groups. This is available for employees in North America and includes all the HR job families. Anybody in HR, in the management, and these three are eligibility rules for this salary plan. Standard compensation element is standard base pay. Let's have a look at that as well. Components for standard base pay. So it is compensation profile to calculate market pay equivalent, Canada, Mexico, US, and all these other locations. Apply FTE is an employee that is 100%, or if somebody is 70% or is 50%. So it does a proration compensation per employee against assigned to this plan based on the full-time equivalent percentage hours. And process eligibility. Do I want to keep them in the merit process or do I want to exclude them? So all the salary plans by default will be part of the eligibility. But if I want to specifically exclude a plan from eligibility for merit, then I can check mark this box and it will not be part of the merit plan. If I want to inactivate a plan, I can click on inactive and press OK, so the plan will become inactive. Similarly, if I go to hourly plans, compensation-based element is base pay. Do I want to exclude from merit or not? I can select that, again, inactive. And the eligibility rule for this is job profile is hourly equal to yes. And what does this job profile hourly means? Compensation group hourly. And here you'll see multiple curly brackets as well. So you have two group of conditions. But they're not two separate groups, but it's combined into one. So compensation group is hourly, all countries of location compensation, period type countries for salary. It is not in the selection list. Then the second condition interlaced is or compensation group is salary, in the selection list salary, all countries location, any in the selection list is period type countries for hourly. So this is how we set up our configuration for hourly plans. So apply FTE percentage, exclude from merit, and then we can do the task edit salary. We saw this how we can edit the salary plan, what are the values that are available to us, plan eligibility, they apply FTE. FTE is full-time employee. We can select the compensation element and exclusion from merit if we need to. We can create our own hourly plan as well if we need to. Yes, it does. You can manage it through your position requisition.
Mhm.
When you create the position or when you're hiring somebody and you're applying a job profile to them, so you
Mhm.
can set up your salary and position restrictions in job profiles and you can select it through them.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Or you can set up a rule that, anybody under this supervisory organization
Mhm.
or the job profile or the job code, or you have a specified job level for them.
Mhm.
Anybody who belongs to that group should only be hourly. So multiple ways of doing it depends on what suits your organization configuration. So let's call it CT hourly. Say, for example, I want anybody that's working in, say, Netherlands, they need to be on the hourly plan. Hourly default, say, $30 per hour. Currency is NC. Frequency is going to be hourly. Okay, not Netherlands, New Zealand. I added two eligibility rules. So Netherlands and New Zealand. So that's not going to work. So we just created our own salary plan. One-time payment and allowance plans. So it is amount based. We enter an exact amount, currency, and the frequency, and indicate if it can be overridden at the employee level. So it can be percentage based. So we can enter a percent and a frequency and indicate if it can be overridden at the employee level. And the third options can be unit based, like number of units, frequency, value. So let's have a look at the current allowance plans. We have seen in the past that we have, say, car allowance or family allowance. Default frequency is monthly, and the either it's based on units or percentage. So first, let's have a look at the car allowance. There's the eligibility rules defined. So compensate apply full-time employee. So it's set up as no. Compensation element is car allowance. It's a fixed value on a monthly basis in USD. And it says no override. So you cannot change this value. So it is fixed per month if it is eligible for any of the eligibility rules. So override is not allowed. You can change that. So allowance plan profiles. So if it's in France, it'll be €450. New Zealand, $500. Australia, $500. Let's have a look at the holiday allowance. This is set up, say, compensation base. This is total base pay. Compensation element is allowance. Percentage is 8%. Frequency is annual. And see, the eligibility rules is countries, New Netherlands. So, and the eligibility, no override can be changed. If you look at the, when we set up the time profile for a location, we set it up for 40 hours a week.
Okay.
So 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So if you don't have check-in, check-out within Workday, Workday does support that feature, time check-in, time check-out. So you can connect to an external partner by the integrations, where it will get all the check-in, check-out information from all your check-in, check-out modules. Like it could be your RFID card, it could be an app on your desktop, or however that functionality is designed for your company. So you can get that information for check-in and check-out and how many hours that you have worked. And if you're basing your base pay based on those check-in, check-out hours within Workday, then a plan can be set up accordingly. Another way to look at it is your standard time off and annual leaves plans. Your leaves, for example, if you are allowed, say, 21 leaves per year in your annual paid time off, and maybe you're allowed to go over that depending on your leave policy types, uh, then the deduction may happen if you go over your leave plans. So any kind of check-in and check-out data. So I've seen companies that use RFID cards for their office check-in, check-out. But then many of the offices over time in COVID has not been open. So that data is not available. So what people have resorted to is setting up an app on their company portal that when you log it into the system, you can connect, click on that app that where you have started working. And when you are done for the day, you log out of that system. And that calculates kind of your check-in, check-out as well. So my unit is each, per unit cost is this currency, and then I can set up the eligibility rules, who are eligible for this. Foot, gallon, gram, hours, hundreds, inch, kilogram, kilowatt hours, linear foot, and so on. I think you'll have to say, because Workday does not have a module to account for what kind of ticketing system you're working on and how does it resolve. So out of that ticketing system, you would have to create a logic and send the number of units that you would need to pay the user based on that given unit. So it could be hundreds, because Workday cannot contemplate what you're doing in that system, but the output or the integration with Workday, in that the Workday can expect that you can say this person does a 100 unit a month, then this could be the pay. You can have the tiered unit plans as well, and you can put it as part of your eligibility. It is able to receive the data. It has an entire module for check-in, check-out. So if I go to time and leaves, and then in time and leaves, I have my enter my time, add time clock event. Time clock event could be check-in, check-out, event type, check-in, check-out. So if you want to use Workday to check in, check out, you can do it directly on the Workday tenant as well. But in addition to that, Workday supports integration with external third-party tools as well. This is only for time at clock event. Now, how you translate the clock event into payroll or plans and how do you calculate them, that logic can be built within Workday. And if they're like standardized rules that you can manage with eligibility and tiered hourly plans as well or unit plans as well, based on that, you can do it in your GUI as well. But when you have complexity beyond the GUI, then you would need integration with Workday Studio. And you can create your internal routines as well. An employee can be converted from contractual to a full-time employee, uh, but the position ID would change
Mm-hmm.
because when a position ID is going to be different for contractual employee and it can be different for a full-time employee. Unless you have a different naming convention or worker IDs with based on contractual employees or and permanent employees. Like, for example, a permanent employee could be 101, 101,
Mm-hmm.
and a contractual employee could be C101, 101. So unit based, it can be amount based, it can be person based, or it can be unit based. And frequency and value can be set and override can be set for percentage and amount based as well. One-time payment plans, ability to award an ad hoc payment to an individual employee used for employee referrals, retention bonuses, and severance payments. There is an option to resend a particular transaction on a worker. For example, I go to login thing, I go to job, I go to job history, sorry, worker history. And for example, benefit changes, compensation changes. See, for example, bonus Q4 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been sent, or there's a mistake in this, and
Mm-hmm.
it has been done by a business process, I can either correct it. So this is not a correctable option because it was part of a different unit. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can find any compensation changes. So, for example, this was successfully completed as part of merit performance annual appraisal. And let me see if I can. So, no, this is part of the merit process. So, for example, this is an ad hoc compensation change. And say if I need to either correct it, so I can go to business process and do a correction. So this is even not correctable. It's part of a different business process. No, it can be effective dated from the past as well. So I can either do a correction, financial matter, that's a different thing that unless you have the payroll module uh, within Workday, then it will use the integration to send a correction to the bank.
Okay.
But
Okay.
again, how that transaction is handled financially
Mm-hmm.
is something beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be able to comment on it, but as far as the worker transactions are concerned within Workday HCM and the compensation module, you can either do a correction or you can rescind as well. If it allows me to correct, for example, time off and leave, say I need to correct this business process. I'm just trying to, I can cancel this, stuffing, hire, business process, correct, say edit position, business process, correct. Oh Lord, come on. Sure. So, like for example, this is an ongoing business process that is not completed as yet.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to business process and cancel, give a comment. But this was an overall in progress business process.
Mm-hmm.
But if there would be other information that can be corrected, and that includes payroll changes as well. Assess rating, say it was advanced. I want to convert it to expert and say assessed on which date, say 30th, and I can give my comments. So for majority of your processes, if they're not part of a bigger or larger business process, that is not correctable. But generally speaking, majority of the transactions you can either do them or you can correct them, or you can rescind them as well. Cancel them, correct them, or rescind them. For example, if we have Vencedor car allowance, that's an allowance, 15,000 US dollars, and its eligibility rule is only for this company. You have a commission plan as well, 5% quarterly, and can be used by these under this package. So compensation and eligibility rules, it determines employees' eligibility for each compensation component during staffing. Eligibility is based on any combination of organization, job profile, location, and permission. We have seen how we can create eligibility or look at eligibility based on job profiles, based on locations, uh, based on, say, organization, based on countries, based on management level, and so on. So we can create our own eligibility rules, either a single rule or a combination or a nested rule as well on the compensation plan's eligibility. So we've looked at compensation eligibility rules in great details. For example, we have seen all employees, like we've seen country level, we've seen management level, we've seen a combination of multiple eligibility rules for this allowance plan. So these eligibilities can be set up and executed based on your company policy, and they are highly customizable. So we can create compensation eligibility rules, we can review plan eligibilities, we can create our own compensation plan eligibility, roll out incentive and allowance plans, remove plans, and review benefit plan eligibility rules as well. So if you like, you can create your own compensation plans as well and have within the plans, you can accumulate a couple of plans and create your own compensation package as well. As an assignment, now when you go back home today or when you have time, do view the compensation eligibility rules, make some rules and apply to workers, existing workers, not new workers, but existing workers. And then review the eligibility criteria as well, whether you are able to apply them or not. That is the end of our compensation. And we can start on with the next chapter, which is business processes framework.
Yeah, so let me give a high level, the org structure, what I am looking for, and basically this is that basic structure. I am planning to start practice on that Workday tenant. So I'm creating my org structure, and I divide into two parts. The one is organizational hierarchy, and another one is work structure. So some of the name, it is not same as Oracle. It's not same in the Workday. So this one from other ERP product, ERP application. So I'm trying to match out with that's with Workday, and I'm going to create that one. Okay. So in a high level, Workday Healthcare, this is my corporation company. So underneath of that, I have a region. So underneath, I have a business unit, division, and department. So underneath of the department, I have a position, which is my job and the job location and everything. It will come. So all my assignments, which is multiple assignment and multiple job for each employees and everything, it will come within this work structure level. And on the cost center point of view, the department level, I have a GL company and GL cost center. So this is going to be derive all my the cost center detail for for multiple reason, either finance point of view, or it could be employment point of view. So everything, it will come this play around with the cost center. So as an example, let me apply my org structure into my future state conceptual diagram. So what I mentioned yesterday, so Workday Healthcare is going to be my company, and I have a 3 different region: New York region, New Jersey region, and Pennsylvania region. So in the New York region, I have maybe like more than 10 hospitals are there, but I'm taking like only two of them for just like a practice purpose. So it says like a Manhattan Hospital and Brooklyn Hospital. New Jersey, I have a Horseshoe Hospital, and like I can add multiple. So just I'm calling that one as a business unit. The same
Right.
thing for Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania, it's going to be like I have it in the business unit level. So, like underneath of the business unit, I have a division. So the division I divide as a human resource, finance, and like I can go for like a food and beverage, administration, security, legal, marketing. So like I divide as a multiple divisions. So
Right.
underneath of the division, I have a department, and like the employment hiring and the employment process, everything it's going to be on the department level.
Right.
So this is my like a structure. First one is enterprise, which is my company. Then underneath of my region, then business unit, division, and then underneath I have a department. So like when it is going to come, when it is going to come as employment assignment point of view, so my employment will be there in the department level. At the same time, I can do it at the division level. So like as we discussed, like a supervisory organization or supervisory department, some management department, all that one, so it will come under the division level as well. So like when it is coming to as a human resource as a division, so I can create as a multiple department underneath of the HR. So like for example, I can create like a one group of people for recruiters, one group of people for like a HR administrators, and the talent managers will come to this picture. So like I want to differentiate all that one as a separate department. So for example, like a finance. So finance is one of my division. So underneath of that finance, I want to divide as like a AP, AR, GL, and the banking, the costing I want to differentiate. So like all that one, so I need to create as a separate department. Same thing like if I'm going to look at for administration and security. So that's I'm creating as a division. So like underneath of that administration and security, so I can talk about the building administration, building security, parking lot security, and in my premises, so what are all like the security violations and security and all that one. And obviously this is a healthcare, so I want to take care of my patient security, and I want to look at for my the patient's patient record security. So all that one, so I need to take care of as a separate department.
Okay, the way I look at it, it's first of all, it's very elaborate. Thank you for this, Putri. Your WD Healthcare can be assigned a supervisory organization type of company. Then I would not use the regions as my primary locations or my primary support, but say I would create another executive or a management layer which can be divided into these three regions. So I could have somebody looking after New York, I could have somebody looking after New Jersey, and I could have somebody looking after Pennsylvania. And under Pennsylvania, I have business units. Under New Jersey, I have business units and hospitals.
So what you are saying that, so this is going to be like the first WD healthcare, it's going to be like
Company.
it's a company. So then after that, my whatever I'm talking about as a region, so this one, so you are saying that as a supervisory organization.
The thing is that you have an option to create a regional hierarchy within Workday as well.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, regions can be assigned to supervisory organizations. So let's have a discussion around this first before you start taking notes. Like your human resources that you have mentioned in each region, under each business unit, like hospital names or however it is, it's a common department. Now,
Mhm.
would you be requiring to have separate teams of human resources for each department, or are they a shared resource?
Okay, so I have two option here. Like some client can ask something like HR, HR as a separate department or something like that. At that time, so I don't need any of this divisions.
Hmm.
So okay, so everybody they will come under like at the corporate level. So like they will take care of with the entire the organization's human resource and all that one. But this is like a one of the live example. Okay, so like in that example, so like the client don't want to make it as like in a corporate level. The
Hmm.
reason for that is like a maintaining hiring people and like a maintaining like a recruiting and all that one, it's going to be like a little challenge.
Right.
So that's why like they want to separate like each and every business unit. They have their own department for the human resource. Even though when they are creating, so like this business unit people can come under only like for example Manhattan employees, so it will come under only that Manhattan BUs. So like
Right.
whoever is a manager, they won't see or they can't see anything the Brooklyn's hospitals doctor's salary or doctor's detail and all.
Right.
So for the security reason, so they want to like divide as like a separate business unit. At the
Hmm.
same time, one doctor he can work into multiple business unit as well.
Right.
Like he can go to like a Monday, Tuesday he's on the Manhattan. So Wednesday he can go to Brooklyn, and
Hmm.
Thursday he can take off. Friday he can go to Pennsylvania. So
Right.
like in that case, so it will be like a multiple assignment for that the person when I'm going to hire who is like a primary legal entity for that the doctor. So let's
Hmm.
say like he is coming under like a Manhattan hospital. So like
Hmm.
that is his primary job. Then I
Hmm.
can create as a secondary job with the Brooklyn, third so like a part-time job with the Pennsylvania. So I can create like that.
Basically, Workday Healthcare is one company. They
Mm-hmm.
can have n number of hospitals,
Yeah.
and the doctors can be in multiple hospitals during the course of the pay plan.
Mm-hmm.
Say, be a salary plan per month, or it could be an hourly plan, whatever the plan type is.
Mm-hmm.
My thought process would be that yes, can have separate HR for separate hospitals. Like one of the hospitals would say that, okay, I want my HR to be managed locally within my hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe two of your hospitals say, we are okay with global HR, and they can take care of all this headache, and we don't want to get involved. We are a hospital. We want to do our hospital thing ourselves. That's what we specialize in.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Even for that to happen, to have even localized HR team within a hospital. So first thing, I believe that you have to create a supervisory organization for that hospital. Somebody is going to be in charge of that entire hospital or n number of hospitals at the super level. And under that super level, you can have, say, a additional super level for each hospital.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I assigned like if you will see that the icon, the person
Right.
icon. So like I assigned a person underneath of like my business unit. Basically, like he is the in charge for that hospital. So like I have all that person assigned supervisory organization person I assigned here, which is like the Logan McNeil. So like that type of person will be there underneath of like a Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Horseshoe Hospital and all my views.
Thing is, any people that you're going to hire in HR, either at the hospital level or at the group level, either managed by corporate HR or managed by local HR. They will need to be accounted for under your cost center of HR.
Mm-hmm.
So those you can have specific HR head of department or HR supervisor organization manager for say Manhattan Hospital, and he has a team of say 15 or 20 people working for that hospital only.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in other hospitals, you can have a HR business partner, maybe one or two people working in those hospitals, but everything else is managed by corporate HR. But you will need some kind of localized presence within the hospital as well.
Makes sense. Yeah. So in that case, so like in the company level, I have a supervisory organization I'm creating. Maybe I can say like this. So supervisory organization, so I can assign the person on my region level. So he's
Right.
a supervisory organization and I hired one person. So that person can control the number of hospitals.
Say you can have uh, me as in charge of New York, and that supervisor organization, you can create, say, New York, the owner and manager of the Superorg is, say, Sam, and understand then you have human resources, finance, food and beverage, administration, legal, security, marketing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for their custom organization, you can start creating custom organizations with the name of the hospital or the business units. And you can assign me to either one or more than one custom organizations. So all your hospitals could be custom organizations.
Okay.
And for example, if I need to see, okay, how many people in HR are in Manhattan Hospital in my reports, I can have an entire population based on the custom organization, that how many doctors, how many nurses, how many staff members, how many admin staff, how many legal, marketing, food, beverage, finance, and human resources people are in that custom org for Manhattan Hospital.
Okay.
So your structure would be kind of tree, organization hierarchy tree, but then you can use a custom organizations, your location hierarchy, and your super hierarchy combination to start creating clusters of hospital under one region.
Okay. So now here I have a question. So like when I'm going for the location hierarchy, so my location wants to assign like in a two area. So the one is on the BU level, and at the same time, I want to do it on the department level as well.
Right.
The reason for that one is, so like within the department also, I want to put the security. So like they don't want to see the patient history or patient information within the department also. For
Okay.
example,
That is very easily managed with the visibility of the organization. If you remember when we're creating supervisory organization, we can set the visibility.
mhm,
That only the members can see it, only the admins can see it, or is it that everyone can see it?
mhm.
So when you set up the super, so you can set up the basic security with the supervisory organization visibility as well.
Okay,
That
okay,
and it can also be controlled by security. Like any employee cannot see any personal data within the tenant across the entire tenant unless they have elevated access such as HR partners, compensation partner, benefits partner, uh, or HR administrator. Only they would have elevated access. So as a default, if you look into Workday, because we are logged in with Logan McNeil and we have elevated access, we can see everything about everyone. But if I log out as Logan McNeil and say log in as an employee, a general employee who is supposed to do his tasks on a daily basis based on the job profile and the position that he holds, he can maximum search for a person, look for the contact information, look for the manager, and that's about it. They cannot see their time off details. They cannot see their compensation details. They cannot see their worker history. So as a thumb rule, all the data is secured within the tenant, even if they don't, even if they're part of the Manhattan Hospital in the same department like finance. One person cannot see other person's personal data.
Mm-hmm.
It is already secure.
Yeah, that's true. That's why like I divide division, and underneath of the divisions I introduce the department.
Right. Even at
So
the department level, they would not, an employee cannot see another employee's data.
mhm.
That you can rest assured with.
Yeah, that is we can restrict within like a employee level, so we can restrict on that information. So
Right.
so the reason for like a Manhattan finance and the Brooklyn finance is difference here is I don't want to share any of that information between these hospitals. But in
Right.
the supervisory organization on the region level, which is like the New York person can able to see the Manhattan finance detail as well as Brooklyn finance detail.
Mhm.
So at the same time, the New York supervisory organization's person, the manager, whoever, so
Can I cut
that
you?
guy,
Can I cut you here? When
uh-huh,
you say that the Manhattan hospital person should not be able to see any data of the Brooklyn hospital, when you refer that a person cannot see, who is that person that you're referring to? Is it an end-level employee? Is it an HR person? Is it an administrator level person, or what person are we talking
he's a
about?
VP, vice president.
So even the vice president should not be able to see the data for Brooklyn Hospital.
Yes, because he is a vice president of Manhattan Hospital. So he should can able to see all the transaction, all the employee detail, all his finance department detail, everything only on the Manhattan, not the Brooklyn.
That's interesting, but it is doable. Absolutely doable.
Okay, so
That's
in
not a
that case, so I'm going to create, so that's the main reason I introduced this business unit. So the business unit means like I'm restricting my information, my organization information in a group level.
Mhm.
So like when he is going to like develop something on his hospital, that is like that Manhattan Hospital's vice president can able to focus on only his hospital details, not in that other hospital.
Okay. So
So
with that, you can set it up by roles,
mhm,
security group. If you remember the assignable roles and then you
yeah,
get security group behind them. And there we had an option that is this role able to support the positions within the supervisory organization, or it can do across the supervisory organizations. So if you restrict it to that particular supervisory organization, even at the VP level, then that VP level would not be able to see the data for New Jersey. It would
mhm.
be only be able to see it for New York supervisory organization only.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I asked the same this question during that like that security discussion as well. So like when I'm going to set up whatever you said, that's the way I need. So if I'm going to set up on the supervisory organization level, he should not able to see like any other regions employee detail or any other employee information.
Correct. You can
But
restrict it to New York only.
only, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, so region I'm creating as a supervisory organization. And in this supervisory organization, so I'm going to assign maybe like can I say CEO?
Uh, of that region.
Yeah, for that region.
Um, yeah, you can do that, or you can set it up as a VP. Whatever designation you would like to give, that's not a problem.
Okay, basically
Even
like
the
what
manager at
I'm
top
I,
level.
I'm driving here is like for example like he is president. Okay,
Mhm.
so like I have a CEO. Each region I have a separate CEO, and underneath of BU I have VP, Vice President.
Right.
So then after that I have like each division. So like I can come up with the divisional managers
Yes.
or directors.
Mhm.
So then underneath I have a department. So the department I can come with the department manager.
Right.
Okay. So maybe I can say that my division is going to be director. So my department is going to be manager. So that like I can say that manager report to director, director to VP, VP to CEO.
Mhm.
So then after that I have a president level. So basically like he is the chairman or something like I can call it.
Sure.
So like in this case region I'm creating as a supervisory organization and I'm assigning a person as a CEO.
Mhm.
And the same thing like in the region BU level, the hospital level, which is I'm creating as a custom organization and I'm assigning as a vice president.
Right.
Then after that in the division, so this one also it's going to be as a supervisory organization as a division. Okay, and like I'm creating as a person director. The
But
employee can hire
only
on
your
the like for example, okay, so this is like a two structure we can define. I can move my human resource, the administration team to the New York level.
Mhm.
They can handle this entire New York region administration. Or I can move on the lower level, only that administration people can be on that each region level, region and BU level. So in that case, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, like maybe like we can come up with one high level administration HR group, administration group.
It all depends on how you want to set it up. So if I can share my screen, if you allow me, I think I gave this example before as well.
Mhm.
Depending on the cost centers that you have. So here you can see the cost centers for car admin, car R&D, car sales, truck admin, truck R&D, truck sales, general admin. We have given examples for two types of cost center hierarchies that you can create and that can be applied towards your organization and region hierarchy as well. Like on the left side, we see that all products are the primary supervisory organization, then it has cars and trucks as subordinate organization. And under all products, you have a general admin. So admin for both the type for cars and trucks are shared. Whereas in cars, you have car admin, car R&D, car sales, and in trucks, you have truck admin, truck R&D, and truck sales. Whereas in a different company, all functions can be grouped at the top level. Then you can have admin, R&D, and sales. Then you can have car, truck admin, and general admin for administration. For R&D, you can have car R&D and truck R&D. And for sales, you can have car sales and truck sales. So the tree structure or the org structure can be customized and defined based on your specific requirements set. So just to give you an example or just to give you a reference, that you have multiple options of how you want to do things. So it is very, very important that you have your org structure laid out in a way that is suitable for your organization. So giving this, looking at this example, the second one specifically, so I can have my top level organization say all hospital admin, HR, all hospitals, different departments can be on the top level. And then you can divide them by each hospital or each region. Or you can have all regions on the top and you can have separate regions. And then you can divide those regions where you have region one, which has HR, administration, security, payroll, whatever functions that you need there.
So you have the admin you added into that the parent level, correct? So the same thing I can add like a HR admin.
I would strongly recommend that you have your department levels set up at the top and your hospitals become part of those departments. Could you
So
share your
like you are
screen?
swapping this one, like a department going to the top, and whatever I'm talking about a BU, it will come down.
Yeah, I think the way I would do it is under the healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm running hospitals, but
Mm-hmm.
hospitals is, for example, offices.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the offices may have localized resources. Some of the offices may use global level resources.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, for example, finance can be a global level for all the hospitals. In any case, if the hospital is running their own local finance, they need to be accounted for in the company, which is WD Healthcare. So your regions can be a part of the regional hierarchy, but your departments should be on the top level, or your divisions should be on the top level, like HR, like finance, food and beverage, administration, legal, marketing, sales. They should be on the top level. Under those, you can have sales or marketing or human resource can have multiple hospitals under that, and they can be linked to a particular region or a particular customer organization, like Manhattan Hospital, Brooklyn Hospital, and they could have a region of New York in HR. When it comes to finance, so you have your high-level finance head. Under the finance head, you can have New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania as three different regions. And in each region, you can have multiple hospitals.
So basically, like you are
So
you are
hospitals are
bringing this
products.
BU into one level down, correct?
Yes, that's what I'm suggesting.
Okay. So basically, like you are saying like this. So then underneath of this one, like the Brooklyn and everything, so it will come here. So under the region, so I have my department as a human resource or finance or all that one. So underneath I have a multiple hospital. Then where this department will come?
These departments will be part of your extension of your divisions, linked to that particular hospital by regions or customer organization.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, when you account for, say, at the end of the day, how much did you spend in HR operation or in the HR cost center?
Okay,
Either you
that
can
is
go,
it will go for the region level.
yes,
Okay.
and then it will accumulate all your HR costs into one company-based HR cost center on the top level. And under that, like, for example, if you start making organizations by the hospital, I think it will become a little more constraining and time consuming for you to develop those and maintain those. Because hospitals are like, if I can say, they're like shops. You can add a shop, you can close a shop, you can merge a shop into one. But all when
Okay.
you have a chain of shops that you're managing, you have to have a, at least on the support level, on the cost accounting level, you need to have a high level divisions like sales and marketing, HR, finance, IT, security, administration at the top level. Under that, because I know you're looking at hospitals as a huge unit, but to make things simpler, hospitals are just your shops or units or unit numbers.
Okay. Yeah, I'm quickly modifying my diagram. So for here, so based on your conversation, like I have a region. So
Mhm.
underneath of region, so I create as like supervisory organization for HR, finance, food and beverage, security, legal, marketing, sales, and everything I created. So where my hospital it will come?
Okay. What I was suggesting that you take your departments above the region or parallel to the region.
So like this department, so I want to add in the region.
Now,
Okay.
what I'm saying is you should take your department or your divisions like human resource, finance, above your regions. The regions will become part of your supervisory organization. It all again depends on your company policies. I work with a couple of companies who have offices in 7 countries.
Mm-hmm.
They have their main HR operations at the headquarters, but at every region they have a certain group of people who are managing local things.
Mhm.
But the entire HR operations is run from the headquarters. So locally, they would have HR partners, onboarding, recruiting, uh, payroll, and so on. But
Okay.
they all fall under, and almost for all the companies, the HR head of HR is always at the headquarters.
Okay.
They
Okay.
can have
So that's why
regional
you're.
teams as well, but they all fall under the same HR cost center or the HR organization.
So like a okay, so based on that, I changed it to like a underneath of the department or like a the super organization. So I have a region, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and all. Then I have a hospitals. So like in
Right.
a Pennsylvania, I have like a maybe 5 hospital, New Jersey is 10 hospital, New York maybe 2 hospitals. So something like that. So I assigned. And what about this department? So this is the one you are talking about here. So like all this department, so it will move to my supervisory organization.
They will stay under the hospital, but then they will
Okay.
be linked to the human resource department, finance department, food beverage department, whichever department they are working in.
So this department again, I have a HR, like all the departments, so it will come underneath of each hospital. So like the HR head will be there in the top level. So like they have a full rights to hire any people across the region. So
Right.
like for example, in the Pennsylvania Medical Center 1, if they want to replace one HR admin, they can do it.
Yeah, and the Pennsylvania HR admin will have access to the Pennsylvania region only.
Region only. Yeah.
The Pennsylvania finance department would have access to Pennsylvania region only. All the hospitals under Pennsylvania or a specific hospital under Pennsylvania.
Okay. So in this case, like, is it correct? Like I have the top level, I have a supervisory organizational head. So he has a full rights to hire any people for any regions, any specific hospital. Then
Right.
underneath of that, each hospital, I have a separate department, HR, finance, and all that. The separate department will be there. So, like
Mhm.
for example, HR admin, and another one is recruiting.
Yeah.
Finance, in the finance, I have a APARGL and treasury. So all that one, so it will come under each individual hospital, and they have their own admin people.
Right. For example, you can have, say, head of Pennsylvania, a director or a general manager or a VP, whatever you want to call it. As you
Uh-huh.
have mentioned, Pennsylvania can have a VP of his own.
Yeah.
And that VP, he can have a director HR, director finance, director food and beverage under each hospital. Or if two of the hospitals want to share those, that director can manage 2 hospitals. But as you need individuality, then you would need more human resources for each hospital if they want to manage on the hospital level.
Okay.
There could be some functions like administration security that could be on the state level, like Pennsylvania.
So, like, this is my company. Okay. So
Right.
then what should I call for this one? Like a human resource, finance, food and beverage, administration, security. So what should I call this layer?
You can call this layer an executive management layer.
Executive management layer. Okay. So let me add a comment here. So for this one, so I have a group. Then after that, I have a region, which is Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, these are your location hierarchies. Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey are your part of your location hierarchy.
Okay. So then after that, I have the hospitals. So that hospital, so what should I call?
You can create a company hierarchy as well. Like WT Healthcare is one company, but then you can have a company hierarchy as well, where Medical Center 1 is a company under WT Healthcare, and the region for that is Pennsylvania. Medical Center 2 is a separate company.
Okay, so you are creating as like each and individual hospital as a company, sub-company,
Right.
or child
Because
company.
that hospital could have their own balance sheet. That hospital can have their own finance and reporting, taxation. Pennsylvania may have different taxes. New Jersey may have different taxes. New York may have different tax structures for employee in the hospital as well. They'll have to report on the hospital level as well.
Okay, okay. So then underneath of the hospital, so I have a department. So I can directly map the department. So in this case, I don't need any division at all.
Yeah, you can say that. Say the executive management, say VP of HR is reporting to the president.
No, like my understanding is in the top level, executive management group level. So only that, maybe I would like to say VP, only that VP or somebody will be there in that level. So like he can report to the president, but the actual like a hiring, it's going to happen on the hospital level. See, this human resource can hire only the management people, not the actual employees. So the actual employees can hire in the local HR group.
And executive management can have a secretary, or it's not that they cannot hire anybody. They can hire localized staff, like the human resource can have, the VP can have a secretary or an assistant that could be reporting directly to the VP. But then that secretary would not have any, say, access to the hospital, but then only be reporting to the VP of HR.
Employment hiring, it can be happen in both department, like a human resource department as well as like the individual local HR department also. So whoever in this human resource department or like this executive management group can hire anyone on the lower level also. At the same time, they can hire within their level as well for the secretariat or like a secretary or any admin people. Anybody can hire in this level. So at the same time, the local HR also can hire a people. That hire, it's going to be only for within their medical center, not the different one.
Correct. For example, you can, in finance, you can have a treasury secretary who is responsible for managing all the treasury related across all hospitals. So that has got nothing to do with the regions or the medical center, but it all the data then would be accumulated under the treasury secretary. So you would need some kind of people management or organization at the VP levels as well. Whereas your HR operations or finance operations or food and beverage operations, other divisions can work locally under the hospitals.
As per my understanding, so this entire org structure is a company, okay? And within this company, we have all like a sub companies. Medical Center 1 is one sub company, Center 2 is a separate company. So in the parent level, this human resource have a rights to hire anyone on any of the sub companies. Maybe
Correct.
they have like each and every like a region. Maybe we have Pennsylvania have a 10, New Jersey have 5, and New York have 5. in total 20 hospitals are there, then we have a 20 sub organization will be there. So these guys have a full rights to hire anyone in this 20 organization, sub organization. So like if you go for the local, so this department have a rights to hire only within this sub organization.
It can be set up that way, yes.
Before switching that one, so one quick question. So this one, I can call it as a company, and I'm assigning person as a president, and the
Right.
executive management group. So whoever they are residing in this level, I'm going to say like a vice presidents.
Mhm.
The location, which is like my region. So
Mhm.
Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. So like what type of person will come to this region level? Is it going to be CEO or like a?
Would you be needing CEOs for each region? Or would you like the human resource to manage Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York as individual locations or individual regions?
So then in the region level, nobody will be here. And I have a CEO on that each medical center level, which is my hospital level. So this CEOs will report to vice president, president will report to president. So underneath of CEO, I can create as a directors
Mhm.
and managers
Yes.
and like a corresponding like a whoever going to work underneath of this one. So they will report to these persons.
Right.
Okay.
You can say Pennsylvania hospitals, and you can assign the CEO to Pennsylvania hospitals. And under Pennsylvania hospital, you have Medical Center 1, Medical Center 2, and so on.
Oh, okay. You mean the CEO I can assign here. So this
Right.
CEO can manage all the hospitals in their region. Okay, so in that case, like in the company level, the we don't have any, or I can say these all are like a directors.
Director Hospital 1, Director Hospital 2.
Two, and I can say like a department level managers.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I can set up like this also. Let's say
Yes, you'll have to create your regions, you'll have to create your locations, you'll have to create your time profiles, and then hierarchy them, set them up.
Okay, I think this one pretty much I'm good with this approach. Yeah, maybe I will come up with a little bit like a clear diagram on this one, and I will put some the hospital names here for easy understanding. So maybe I will start creating some of that company and supervisory organization based on this, and let's see.